What's up, guys? It's Gage again from Indoor Inverts. It's been kind of a crazy week. It's midterms, so the video's a little bit crazy, a little bit late, but you do what you can, right? The point of this video is going to be a little bit split. So I have plans to get a baby axolotl soon. I have a 20-gallon long tank all set up and ready to go. I just have a little bit of issue securing the axolotl. The local pet store has not been able to get them in, so I'm still waiting to get one. I have the tank ready to go, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I got that set up. Along with that, I got some new shrimp in, and I also set up a new shrimp tank, a little 3-gallon nano tank at my office. So I'm going to show you guys how I set that up and show you guys the new crystal shrimp I got. As well, I also made a shrimp trap. I was trying to make a little time lapse where the shrimp would go into the shrimp trap that I made, kind of show you guys a little useful technique, but the shrimp didn't seem interested in any of the bait that I tried to give them, but I will still show you the shrimp trap that I made. So let's get right into the video, you guys. What's going on, guys? Here we are at that 20-gallon long aquarium. Just a standard 20-gallon long 30 by 12 by 12. Yeah, 30 by 30 by 12. I cut the frame off of it. I like rimless aquariums when they have water in them. It looks a little fancier to me. Just kind of a personal opinion. If you pay attention to my Instagram, I was asking what you guys thought I was going to put in this enclosure that coming week. It was going to be an axolotl. I wasn't able to get an axolotl last week. The store did not have them. So I'm hoping that tomorrow they're going to get them in, that being Thursday. Tonight is Wednesday. So I figured I'd just show you the tank that I kind of have set up now. 20-gallon long, as I already said. I got a couple decorations in there, a little rock wall. I have a little ceramic jug thing with a little opening in it. Here, let me get around the other side. You can kind of see there. That'll act as like kind of another little hide for the dude. I don't even know if he'll go in there. That has got this wood piece. I have a couple floating plants in here. I have some guppy grass wedged in between this rock. I have some duckweed floating up top, and I also have a little bit of hornwort as well. I want to get more plants, but I'm kind of limited because I'm planning on getting a baby axolotl. Oh, I also have a little moss ball down here. I'm planning on getting a baby axolotl. So axolotls eat with suction. They suck food into their mouths. So they have a propensity to kind of swallow things they're not supposed to, like rocks or other pieces of decoration. If you give them things that they can't digest and they eat too much of it, they can become what's called impacted, which is pretty much a super constipation, and they can have a whole bunch of health problems from that and potentially die. So it's best to just use a substrate that is safe, or no substrate at all in my case, since my axolotl is going to be very small. I don't even want to use sand as a substrate because that is a potential choking hazard, if you will, even though it's not technically choking, but you get the idea. So at the moment I just have a bare bottom substrate. I want to get a little Pyrex or glass dish that I can drop the axolotl's food into to kind of help keep it a little bit tighter in here, but honestly, if I have to do a little bit frequent water changes, I kind of expect to, because axolotls are a bit messy. That being said, I can move on to filtration. In the back corner over here, I have a 25-gallon sponge filter. When I get the axolotl, I'm likely going to get another sponge filter just because the air pump that I'm using has 2 ports on it. So, I mean, I personally believe there's no such thing as overfiltration, so why not run 2 little filters on the back? But it'll just kind of help keep the axolotl cleaner and happier. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just hoping to get the axolotl tomorrow. I've been cycling this tank for about 13 days now, close to 2 weeks, and that just pretty much means you probably remember the nitrogen cycle from middle school and stuff, kind of how nitrogen moves through the soil, then it moves to the water and stuff. Basically, you want the nitrogen levels to be at a safe water in your aquariums, as well as other things like phosphorus, ammonia, stuff like that. But essentially what you want to do is you want to, you can start from tap water, which is I did. I added a dechlorinator, C Creme Prime. At that point, you have a couple options of what you can do to start the aquarium. They sell quick start products that have like beneficial bacteria and stuff. I kind of don't have any more in that, but I do have a little paludarium over there. So I just took some of the water from over there that has bacteria and stuff in it and put about a gallon of that water into this tank when I set it up. And at that point, you want to run your tank for about a week or so, so that way the bacteria can fully reproduce in the water and spread out. And at that point, the nitrogen levels and stuff in your water should level out pretty well. And axolotls are this way too, but this pretty much goes for any aquatic pet, fish included. Turtles don't really count because they don't necessarily breathe the water. This is for animals that breathe the water and have gills more so. And axolotls enjoy cold water as well. You probably noticed if you keep fish that I did not mention a heater. I don't necessarily need a heater. This water stays at about 68 degrees so far. So that's pretty good for an axolotl. If anything, I might have to find a way to cool the water since warmer times are coming up. It's spring here now, early spring. If anything, I might have to find a water cooler or a fan or stick bottles of ice in here or something. But for now, I'm rocking a good temperature, so good filtration, good substrate, if any substrate at all, plenty of hides. It's pretty much all an axolotl needs. And I should also mention I don't really have a light at the moment. I want to get an LED light that's very dim and potentially has blue lights because axolotls do not like light. They will avoid it and it actually can stress them out. So a low light, cool, clean area is really all they like. And other than that, they're pretty simple to keep. They eat simple things like they're predators, so they eat a lot of worms. They'll eat fish. As adults, they eat primarily earthworms. Younger, you could feed them things like frozen bloodworms, some frozen brine shrimp potentially, a lot of variation in their diet. And there's even some prepackaged foods like little sinking pellets. They're kind of like turtle pellets or catfish pellets. If any of you have catfish, it's very similar to that. So yeah, that's pretty much your basic axolotl setup. So we have made it to my office. I just wanted to show you guys this little nano tank I'm setting up on my desk. It's a 3-gallon tank, so it's 8 inches by 8 inches by 11 inches. It's one of those Zoo Med Creature tanks. If anyone was curious if they hold water, they do pretty great. I wanted to put some cherry shrimp in here, Neocardinia shrimp, and their setup is very simple. So we just got some big rocks down here, some river stones. They're an inert substrate. They're not going to affect the pH or anything like that in the water, which could negatively affect your shrimp. For a hide, I just have this big sheet of quartz that I had. I just stuck it in there. And it's also holding down this little half log, which acts as another hide, but I've also got my little sponge filter hidden behind that. And on top of that, I just got a tiny little submersible heater to keep the water about 74 degrees to keep the shrimp happy and breeding. I just set this tank up today. So much like the axolotl tank that I already discussed, the tank's just kind of going through the nitrogen cycle and getting stable so I can throw the shrimp in. So in a couple days when the water is stable and I test it, I'm going to catch a couple of my shrimp from home, throw them in here and see how well they do. I also want to get a couple plants in here. I didn't state that, but probably just some floaters like some hornwort, definitely some duckweed. I don't know. I don't want to be like messing around with this tank too much, especially because it's at work. It's going to be pretty low maintenance. So I'm thinking floaters and shrimp, maybe some snails.
He's like, you told me it's only 200. I was like, dude, I fucking told you it's a $400 deal. He's like, yeah,
So we are back from the office to my house. Here is my little frog paludarium where I got my cherry shrimp. There's one kind of in the front. There's another one back here. There we go, got them focused on the back one. So I keep my cherry shrimp in this frog paludarium, and I think they're getting eaten by the fish. You can see one of my mollies right there. So that's part of the reason why I want to take them out and move them to the office tank. I've built a little shrimp trap here. It's really easy. I just took a short water bottle. I cut the top of it off, and then I turned it inside out and siliconed it inside out in place so it's watertight and safe for the shrimp. Basically, since shrimp only swim backwards, the idea is the shrimp can swim into the hole, but they pretty much can't come out of the hole. They'll have a lot of difficulty trying to maneuver out. I'm not quite ready to use this trap yet. I still want the tank to cycle and get some plants, but I'm trying to figure out what kind of foods are gonna work in this shrimp trap. So I'm blanching a carrot right now, and I'm about to make a little time lapse with that carrot and see what kind of action we can get with the blanched carrot in the tank with some of the shrimp. So let's see what happens. Hello again, guys. I realize there's a lot of jump cuts in this video. Just real quick, I just got back from the pet store. I had to get some cat litter, and I saw that they finally had some of these ghost shrimp in, so I had to pick up a couple of them for that aquarium at work that I was talking to you about. So I'm gonna go ahead and let these guys acclimate for a little bit, about half an hour to the water temperature and parameters. I'm gonna let them go and then throw them some of the shrimp food I bought too, and hopefully get some awesome shots of not only these new dudes but the cherry shrimp. So let's let them acclimate. Okay, so here we are back at the office. I caught some shrimps. As you can see, there's a couple cherry shrimp in there. There's a big mama and some baby. Then there's a ghost shrimp in there. There's also another ghost shrimp in there and a male cherry shrimp. So yeah, I'm just letting these acclimate in the little tank right here. And I will show you guys when I release them, and then hopefully show them kind of a little more comfortable swimming around the tank. The shrimp are now ready to go in. It's been about half an hour. Take off the lid and just dump them in. Sure no shrimp are in there. There are no shrimp in there. All right, so everyone's dumped in. Everything's kind of disheveled and disarray. So I'm gonna put all the plants back, let everything settle, and then I'll catch it back up with you guys. There's one little baby shrimp right there. So cute. Here is the finished axolotl enclosure. Unfortunately, the store did not have any axolotls once again, so it's going to be a little bit more waiting, but that's fine because it's just going to mean that the plants are going to grow out a little more and the tank's going to be a little bit more cycled. I did get some new additions in the tank. I got some mystery snails. Here's a white one. Somewhere in here I have a black one, but I do not see it at the moment. And I also have some ghost shrimp in here. Here's one of the ghost shrimp right there, eating some of this dirt, cleaning it up. So yeah, I got a couple hides in here, ready for the axolotl. Just went ready for the pet store to get the axolotl. I did get lighting, just one of those basic LED strip lights I pinned to the top of this little entertainment center where I have the tank. And what's cool about this, it has a little remote, so there's all kinds of colors you can switch it to. You got blue for nighttime, then red. You can turn down the intensity of the light, which is something I was really interested in because axolotls don't really like light. So say if the light is a little bit too bright, you can always turn it down for them. A little bit dimmable, so that's cool, and that's pretty much exactly what I wanted. So now this tank is just going to be sitting here until the magical moment when the axolotl comes to my door.